What's good, everybody? It's Mon here. Welcome to another form tutorial video. I'm going to teach y'all how to be a champion of the arena. After getting rep 1 with Gladiator and seeing what he could do, I'm very happy to say that I very much love this character. I love Gladiators. It's something I've talked about here and there on this channel. One of my favorite showcases of Gladiators in fiction is in the show Spartacus, talking about the legendary GOAT of Gladiators that rebelled against Rome during the Republic era. Besides all that history buff nerd shit, time to talk about this man, Gladiator. Gladiator was a Triton, a buckled shield, a mix of the case of Thrax and same time a Retiaris, or a person with trident and net. This man, Gladiator, is a very agile and proficient moving character. His character with the trident has great mix-ups, his poking with lights, and same time coordination with his heavies. He's a character that's very suave with movement. He has the very much crunch guard feel of a boxer that's very much a southpaw, with his left hand being his form of representing defense and reach. His character, on the other hand, with just like putting in work, is a very, split guard person, pokes and movements along those lines. He has great coordination and infinite chain capabilities on both sides of him. They can be very annoying. In a mixture with a heavy, you can go some crazy stuff. With your heavies, you can always go about holding. The way to go about doing this is obviously we're just holding the case of your attack button, R2, RT, or whatever you have on PC, and or going backwards in the case of your left stick on all forms to go about pushing and pressing on a person with the case of a trident. Now, when it comes down for, your way of movement and other mixture of shit that comes with this is a lot, but pretty much when you go into a case of your, defensive stance as an assassin character, you don't have reflex guard anymore, but your guard goes away when you're trying to go about deflecting, and that's something that we'll talk about later, but pretty much in doing that, you would pretty much be able to get this as your deflect. What he does when it comes of like going for his unblockable is he lowers himself and goes to stab a person with the trident. From this, you can bleed a motherfucker out by pretty much having them stab like a fish. You can throw them to a wall. If you're near a wall, you can get a half case wall splat with pushing on them, and you can get a free case of heavy, right? And at the same time, daze. As with this, he stabs them into the wall, and like a showman, as a gladiator, trying to make it entertaining for the non-existent crowd. I swear this man Gladiator has mental problems. Bucks the motherfucker in the face, and then goes about getting a top heavy, which can just pretty much be add more to, flame, within the case of, getting the heavy off, days a motherfucker, then hit him with a free one. Right? This is unblockable for what I've seen from anybody that gets hit with it, but it is definitely a very interesting thing. Right? Speaking of the case of, the bucking part, this man obviously has bashes from the case of front, left, and right. Like a boxer with the left hand, he taps a motherfucker with the left hand and moves very suave with it. Okay? From both sides, he hits a person up. All right. This is a lot of different mixture stuff, and his stuff that comes with it is like a form of light that you can maybe get with a person being dazed. You usually want to go for heavy, and because he has trackable like heavies, depending on the side, he can go for each. Right, he has 2x side things. Right. If you go for an all guard like thing, you stab a person in their toes. That kind of move with him. He has a lot of mix-ups from these, but it is a little good deal of chip damage, has a good tracking ability. It's a good catch up on people sometimes trying to go about, spamming lights for, a 50-50, aka an option select. It's a good thing to track people in side dodges, and it's just very useful to say the least. But yeah, pretty much it when it comes down to those different mix-up things. For the case of what he could do, for 50-50, you have his iconic zone. And with the zone, you get a free bash that takes stamina and a free hit, this being said. It's good for, those 50-50s. That's when you usually use it, or when you're trying to open somebody up and they're kind of weird. Don't over spam it. It takes a great deal of your stamina, especially because he's twirling around. It is not the best for minion clearing, but it is very good for, mix up things and different things like that for minion clearing. I would just be spamming RB and only use it when, you have a good deal of space to where you can bash minions and clear them out, kind of open, the gates for the minions. That's what it's all about for, the minion lane that has, minions, regardless if it's like C on the shard or anything. That's like the best category for the greater grand stamp usage of it, but it has always been used as a primary opener. with his lights, you have a top light that goes pretty good range. You have a case of running heavy. That's pretty much the most efficient way of moving like shit. This takes a decent take of stamina, but if you stay conserved with it, you'll be good. It's because Gladiator is a very fast, elite person. He's an athlete, to be fair, you know what I'm saying? Because Gladiators back in the day would be pretty much akin to a form of MMA, boxer, WWE superstar, what we consider modern gladiators of sportsmanship. That's what a gladiator would be. And again, he's a professional at this shit. He's an elite form fighter, a great sportsman. And with this being said, the people of the crowd adore this man. Probably get all the bad bitches, man. Should be me for real. But anyway, jokes aside, though, I'm gonna stop. On the rope, my man Gladiator, is a whole athlete. So when he be moving and doing things like that, it is very much good in mixture to go about stuff. But yeah, Gladiator is a very unique character. Has a lot of cool mixing and turns like that. For more case of possible help, I will go watch Marco Yolo, Havoc, Freeze, people like that have a better case of repertoire when it comes down to Gladiators, all from a Rep 1's perspective. But Gladiator is a very unique and cool mixy character. So I'll go peek on that. But before I go, let's talk about deflecting. Now, deflecting, I've talked about in my ironic case of Revered, I would guess you could say, popular Shaolin guy video where I tell y'all how to be a great warrior monk there, right? Become monkey. This is going to be the same. Deflecting is hard, but it depends on the character. I've said with Shaolin, it's a lot more easier because he leans off of his defense. Gladiator has to go inside and out of his defense when he's going about deflecting. So when you go about deflecting, you need to try to be going into the heavies. When you get a deflect, you can do multiple things, but it's all off of getting the pinch, pressure, force going on, where when he hits you, he deflects off and punches your stomach. And that's the case of, obviously his iconic fish spot. Depending on what you do with this can be very good, and you're very good at deflecting. It is very useful, and it is a very great opener when it comes out to stuff, right? And this works on, obviously, all three sides, but I would prefer usually, because of people's side dodges, to always be leaning for it on right or left, depending on the case. It is also just a good way of having incredible defense when it comes down to a left side thing. So, yeah, pretty much it when it comes down to Gladiator, shit like that. But, yeah, with that being said, though, when it comes down to what you can do for gameplay outside of just, 1v1s, a different record of shit, his feats are very good in 1v1s. He has some good kids of crowd control and team play. He's very good in anti-ganking when he has somebody with him. But me personally, for what I've seen, you can only do so good in anti-ganking as he's a lot more of a skilled duelist and a guy that faces people one at a time or, mixes up between people. So the real 2v2s play is the best if you want to talk about anti-ganking. And unless, you're a whole team of gladiators, which would be interesting to see, right? He's not going to be the most proficient at those accolades. Now, granted, though, he can gank to a great deal, very proficiently. His toe stab is a great case of opener, great move set from there, and he's a very interesting character, like I said, one of the most intricate, involved characters when he goes into different shit. But that's just what it is in this regard for this. But yeah, that's Gladiator. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you want more tips, let me know. I can try to help you the best I can in the comment section. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I love y'all. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out, Marvin. Bye, y'all.